Hey, don't worry about this little guy here. They're always a little slow with things. If someone said that exact thing to you, do you know what you'd say to check them, to put them in their place, to make them wish they'd never messed with you? If right now in your head you can't easily come up with that perfect comeback on the fly, that's okay. You're in the right place. You're going to enjoy this little short video because I'm going to show you exactly what you should say. Now, let me tell you, back in the day, I was that guy who took the beating. As a portly ginger child, I took some of the worst beatings on the playground, but as someone who's been on both sides of the fence, I'll tell you this, being able to confidently put anyone in their place that makes the unwise decision to try to talk down to me or to try to crack a joke at my expense, it's one of the most freeing, confidence-building things I've ever learned how to do. But before I knew how to do it, it was terrible. All right, picture this. Take a step back in time with me to third grade. A pot-bellied ginger boy getting made fun of all the time. And just to be clear, as much as we'd like to think that things have changed since grade school and high school, not true at all. Being able to defend yourself verbally is very similar whether you're on the schoolyard, with friends, with family, or in a corporate boardroom. The worst part about being a fat kid that really couldn't think of a comeback is you kind of absorb every single one of those jokes and you kind of internalize them into your psyche. Even if you're just a little bit chubby and someone makes fun of it, your subconscious brain sees that and it remembers the negative self-image and it kind of compounds as you continue to take abuse and you can't defend yourself with a witty comeback. The problem is a lot of men have internalized all of these insults that they were given earlier in life, and a lot of times they continue to hear them to this day, and they've never really let them go or learned how to deal with it. Think about this for a minute. Your core confidence was not only shaped by the cracks that you heard as a kid, but what's going on today. If you can't put people in their place when they give you a hard time, then every single day you're giving these people in your environment, your friends, your family, people you work with, the completely undeserved power to dictate how you feel about yourself. It's gotta stop. But let me tell you something else. Do you think for a second that anyone else wants you to know this stuff? No. Bullies, people that talk down to people, they love easy targets. Look at it this way. Think of some obscure branch of mathematics. Let's look at advanced calculus. If you had an urge to learn advanced calculus, how easy would that be for you to do it? I mean, you can learn it anywhere, high school, local community college, university, go to Khan Academy and learn online. Countless ways to learn how to do it. And how often is the average person going to use that advanced calculus? Never. Unless you're an industrial engineer or some other niche profession, which is a fraction of a percentage of the population is, never. But what now? If you want to learn how to defend yourself verbally against a bully or a friend or a family member, maybe someone intentionally mispronounces your name to make you look bad. They say it mockingly or some other kind of joke to put you down. Where are you going to learn that? There is nowhere on the planet that you can learn this stuff. And let me ask you this. How many people are going to get made fun of at some point of their life? Everyone. And that's why we're here talking right now. How about this crack? Don't worry about Bob here. His Pentium processor between the ears is a little bit slow. Something like that. Another little mean joke or a little put down. Now imagine if someone said that to you, your name happened to be Bob, imagine that exact moment when you feel that nervous kind of sinking feeling, the tightness in the chest. What if you had a mental lifeline that you could hold on to and use to actually pull yourself back up and formulate a comeback in such a perfect way that it would silence the bully or person who made fun of you, whoever was standing in front of you? I'm gonna show you how you can literally have 4 comebacks automatically pop up in your head. Perfect, lethal, and funny comebacks that'll pop up, and all you simply have to do is pick the one you like and say it and silence the crowd around you and be able to walk away with your head held high, knowing that when you just got served, you dealt it back twice as hard. Think about this. What happens to our confidence when a friend or family member or person we're dating or someone we work with, they make fun of us? But we can handle it in such a smooth way that it both makes them look bad for even trying to put you down. It makes you look better than if they would have never made fun of you at all. That's true social power. You completely lose the fear of being talked down to, and you end up welcoming it. You kind of laugh when it happens because you know you're going to come out looking and feeling great. Now, I can still remember that brilliant day on Southeast Elementary Playground. That's where I was the ginger kid. There was this tall bully. His name was Ed, and he'd always have some sort of a fat joke to throw my way. I was a tub of lard or a fat boy. But I was so tired of it, I'd done a little primitive research on how to think of a comeback, and I realized it wouldn't be that hard to really turn the tables on him with a better joke. So sure enough, the recess whistle blows. Time to come in, kids. I get in line. Big Ed, sure enough, yells out a joke so loud that multiple grades could hear. It was something like I was taking up 2 spots in line because I was so fat. So chuckles from everyone sure enough started coming. But I had prepared a little bit, and I had a little snicker on my face. I didn't prepare it, but that's how I felt. And I threw out an weakness joke. It's just a category. I'll get into it in a little bit. But I put it out just as loud as his was. And let me tell you, nobody, including him, expected this. The joke landed so perfectly. Think about like at an NFL football game or a basketball game when the home crowd scores at the very end to win and it just kind of starts roaring, it goes crazy. Even the teachers who were in front of the lines were laughing at him. And from that day on, it was just kind of known that I could handle myself. All of a sudden things got better at school, and bullies like Big Tall Ed and other ones, they just kind of didn't mess with me, as much after that, because people want to pick easy targets. They don't want to pick someone even that's okay at comebacks. They want to pick somebody like the Tubbalard who used to not have anything to say, but now I did. Now, in full disclosure, I didn't have it all figured out back then, but that was the first step in the progression that I personally made towards the system that I developed to easily handle any joke that can be thrown at you. This is kind of the untold underlying code of true masculinity. I mean, what does it mean to be a man? Well, a lot of different things, but one of them is you need to be very consistent in the way that you can banter with the boys. You need to be able to constantly handle yourself when someone throws a joke at you and maybe they have a little bit of a negative intention. You can't cry, you can't run away. Men are constantly testing and challenging each other in work, in public, in families, on the dating scene. In fact, it's kind of a way that we're rooted in biology to do that. And I'm going to share with you exactly how this understanding transformed my own life in just a moment. But before I do, I want to talk to you about how it's transformed Alan's life. He took the program and he's got some thoughts about how he felt. Here's his own words.
To be honest, I'd just kind of gotten used to people making fun of my name and mocking me about it. You're really forced to get used to it. There's nothing you can do to stop it. I felt resentment about it, though. It wasn't good for my confidence. This program armed me with the knowledge that I needed to deal with this stuff. Once you understand what's really going on, it's easy to come out on top. Barron isn't exaggerating when he says that you hear a joke made about you, then you'll have 4 options that are spot on, and you just choose one and watch the dude suffer. Totally up my confidence overall.
Now, one thing I want to point out is you don't always want to decimate the other person. There's a lot of instances where you really want to be lighthearted and funny and just use as little power as possible to diffuse the joke with humor and keep a nice light vibe where everyone stays friends. And I'll show you how to do that too. But this doesn't just work in this specific comeback area of your life. It spreads to the entirety of it. How many times have you been out, maybe on a date, and a girl cracks a joke to test you? Maybe you didn't have a good comeback on the fly. This is an interesting application of this, and it can kind of come across to her as if you're not confident enough to handle it. A lot of times they'll lose interest. Now, imagine if you could come up with a playful, wittier response in that exact moment to win her over. And let me tell you this, when she sees anyone else, other guys or anyone in public who tries to mess with you and you can blow them straight out of the water with your comeback, it's not a bad look either. What if you're in a business meeting? Imagine this, and you're building rapport with somebody. They toss a little joke your way, and you're cool with it because you can make fun of them right back. You now have the confidence to know that you can check them. If they get a little bit too heavy-handed with their trash talk, it's no problem. You're prepared, and you can do it in a competent way. That's how you create rapport. So here's what I've done with the quick and witty comeback boot camp. I've formulaically broken down every single type of insult that you can imagine being thrown at you and then categorized them into 2 groups. Then I've formulaically broken down every kind of response or comeback you can possibly use for each of them. So instead of you giving these scripted responses, what I've done is given you the building blocks, kind of the roadmap, so you can build your own comebacks on the fly. I don't have time to talk about this in much detail in this little short video, but basically you're gonna decide when someone makes a joke about you, what two groups does it fall into? And then immediately you'll have 4 perfectly scripted comebacks pop up in your brain, just like idea bubbles. Just pick one and fire. Everything's given to you in a way that'll let you formulate comebacks on the fly, almost instantly. And if they have the audacity to try to come back with another one, good luck. That's one of my favorite sections of the entire program, what happens when they try to tell another joke. Today, I can go into any room, any place, any bar, any business meeting, and whether the person trying to make fun of me is being playful or serious, I can give it back to them twice as hard as they give it to me. And the funny thing is, once you learn how to do this, people can kind of sense that, and they won't give you nearly as much trouble as they did before. It's just something that they can sense. They want an easy target. So what does the algorithm look like? Let's look at the 2 groups. If someone's being playful and lighthearted and their intentions are good and you want to keep good humor in the comeback, you categorize it as neutral. And from there, you automatically have 4 comebacks pop up in your head to choose from, and you'll defend yourself and you'll check the other person a bit. But the vibe will remain good and the people will see it as a classy, friendly move. Now, what if the person's using no tact? They're really trying to make you look bad. They have nasty intentions. Then you categorize it as hateful. And I'll tell you what, from there, you'll have a spread of nuclear options to pick from. These will blow that person out of the water, and use them carefully. Because these are the big guns. You only want to use them when they're absolutely necessary, because they won't save the good cheer. They just make the person look terrible. Maybe somebody has been mocking you for years, or somebody you don't even know. You have no rapport with them. They come up and start picking on you out of the blue. That's not cool. Anytime you want to use the full power on somebody, this is how you do it, and it's game over. All right, let's actually look at a real example. Let's walk through a real example so you can see exactly how it works, how this formula, this algorithm works. Let's go back to that example at the beginning, okay? Say somebody you work with, his name is Ben, and you say your name is Bill. And he says, yeah, old Bill over there, sometimes he just has a hard time with simple math.
All right, so here's what's going to go on in your head. You easily categorize that as neutral. Nothing to stress, no big deal at all. Here's our spread of comeback options. Looks like a good one right there. I'm going to go with that.
Oh yeah, Bob, that means a lot coming from a guy who couldn't add a row of numbers in Excel this morning. Does anyone have one of those extra watches with the calculators right on the face here so we can do some simple addition? That's it. It's really simple stuff. You're gonna have something like that pop in your head. It's simple but powerful. How would that feel if you knew you'd always have 4 options pop up anytime anyone tried to make fun of you? And you'll learn the ones that you personally like best, which ones kind of feel the most natural with your personality, and use those more often. In the boot camp, we go through all these things I've talked about and a lot more. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to arm you with this algorithm that'll transform the way that you feel socially. You'll never feel uncomfortable again. I know that pain. I coach people and I see people who are uncomfortable, and I knew if they just knew this, it hurts my heart. And that's why I spent so much time and effort getting this thing dialed in. It's very simple once you understand it, but most people don't understand it. And once you have all 11 of these comebacks at your disposal, the world is your playground. People will treat you differently with a level of respect. I've seen it happen time and time again. Now, when I first set this up, it was a 45-day program. I worked hard to condense it down to 30 days, but then I started thinking, I'd love to do this in 15 days, 2 weeks. So I did. Every single day, you're gonna get 2 things from me. A welcome first up audio file where we just kind of chat quickly, we say hello, I go over some of the highlights and things I wanna reiterate from the day prior and get you primed up for today's lesson. Then you're gonna get the main lesson, and that's gonna be a video. And in that video, we're gonna cover everything from big picture theory of comebacks to the delivery, to the right mindset, and of course, the 11 comebacks themselves. It's gonna be a lot of fun. There's also gonna be a few PDF checklists and cheat sheets for a few of the days in the programs that you can use to kind of help deeply understand what was going on and apply what you've learned. The value of the program is really kind of hard to quantify. What's it worth to feel confident around people, or to be able to go up to people you just met and have a better chance of them seeing you as high status or respectable or attractive? What's it worth to lose the fear of people making fun of you? Most people live with that until the day they die. We need to talk about the bonuses. To make this a really easy decision, I created 3 different bonuses to help solidify everything. Has anyone ever mispronounced your name to mock you? They did it intentionally. Not good. And it can be hard to come up with a comeback for that, but not anymore. The first bonus, that's all I do. I focus on showing you how to easily get a comeback for any kind of joke or name mispronunciation someone might hit you with. This is awesome if you have a name that's easily cracked on. You're also gonna get a cheat sheet that has all 11 comebacks handy, so you can snap a picture of it with your phone or print it off. So if you're ever struggling to remember them, you can just kind of take a peek and you're good. And in the last bonus, I'm gonna show you how to battle with comebacks and trash talk on social media. Facebook, Instagram, Reddit, whatever. There are some very specific strategies and techniques that when you follow, they help you immensely in this area. And by the end, you'll understand everything you need to know about it. Now, I wanna walk you through the actual process so you can see exactly what this looks like. When you click on the button below, you'll be taken to a secure checkout page where all you do is enter your regular details and checkout. And once you've done that, I'll send you an email and it'll have all the details and the access link that you can use to sign up for the boot camp. Now, there's a guarantee that I have for you as well. It's a 60-day guarantee for you to go through the boot camp. Over the 60 days, for whatever reason you don't love the program, shoot me a message. I'll happily refund you, no hard feelings. You get access to this instantly today, actually right now. The way this begins is by clicking the order button below, entering your regular details, and I'll talk to you on the inside.